Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mel and I am finally making a video about investing and trading. And I say finally because if you don't know me, I do invest and I do trade stocks. I have been for about 4 years now, and so many people are always coming up to me saying, how do I get started? How much money do I need? Well, I'm giving you the tea now, okay? Quick disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. I am just a person who likes to invest their money wisely and talk about money management and how to handle your money once you get it. Because you can get money all day, but if you don't know how to manage it correctly, bye-bye. It's probably gonna leave you, okay? So this video is intro to the stock market, where we'll talk about, 5 steps to get started. So I'm gonna give you 5 simple steps to take when it comes to investing in the stock market. And this video is more long-term investing. We will talk about trading in later videos because I do actively trade. And by trade, I mean, I get into a stock, I get out of a stock in a couple of days, but this video is about long-term investing. And so I feel like that is a good foundation when it comes to the stock market. So let's go ahead and get into the video. If you are already liking what you see, go ahead and hit the like, subscribe button, and yeah, let's get into it. All right, guys, so I told you I was gonna give you 5 steps. So step number 1, which are really 2 things, but they fall under the same umbrella, and that is assessing your goals and your budget. So 2 things under one umbrella, and I put both of them up under the same umbrella because it's so important for you to understand your why. And that's just not even in the stock market, that's anything. If you don't establish your why ahead of time, you may not complete the task that you're trying to go after. So always assess your goals and your budget first. So assessing your goals would be like, for example, do you want to retire early? Because it is very possible to invest outside of your 401k and maybe retire earlier, because as you know, or if you don't know, there is a cap on how much you can invest and put into your 401k a year. It could be something as simple as you want to pay a bill, like a power bill, a cell phone bill, your car note, different things like that when it comes to assessing your goals. Or it could be that you want to have the money to put your child through college. And there is a fund there's another option that you can take when it comes to investing for your children, which we won't talk about it in this video, but stay tuned and we will talk about it in later videos. So assessing your goals and then assessing your budget. When I first started, what I did was I went to my bank statements and I really sat down and I was trying to figure out, what is it that I'm spending money on? Could it be something that I could cut out, like subscriptions that I weren't really using? I had a million subscriptions, and a lot of them, I probably had like 5 or 6, and I was really only using 2 or 3 of them. So could it be that you go to the grocery store, come home, cook a little bit at home instead of eating out all the time? And I say that because a lot of people say, oh, well, stocks are so expensive. No, that's not true. And if they were expensive, there is something called fractional buying now, which basically means that if a stock costs, just say for example, $1,000, and you can only afford to put $100 or $200 a month in that stock, you can buy a fractional share. So assessing your goals and assessing your budget is step number 1. And I promise you it's so important because you have to establish your why before you get started. All right, so step number 2 is you have to find or select a brokerage. And think about a brokerage is the same way you would think about a bank, for example. So your money, most people keep money at a bank. So with a brokerage, think of it, you're keeping your stocks at a brokerage. And there are many different brokerages. You have Fidelity, Vanguard, Charles Schwab, even Robinhood. And I know a lot of people feel a type of way about Robinhood and the GameStop situation, but it is an example of a brokerage where you can keep your money in. And brokerages today, a lot of them don't require anything to get started. Back when I first started investing, I think I had to put like maybe $2,000 in to get started. I think the most right now is maybe $500, but most of them require nothing to get started. So there aren't any excuses for you guys to not invest your money anymore. And when it comes to, people may ask, what can I buy on these brokerage platforms? When it comes to balancing your portfolio, some people say, especially like if you're in a Roth IRA. And a Roth is something that you can invest in. It's a type of brokerage account, but it's a account that you can have outside of your 401k, but you have to have earned income to start a Roth. So just remember that. But a Roth IRA, a lot of people would say keep 60% stocks, 40% bonds to kind of balance your risk. But you have a Roth that you can start. You can have a traditional brokerage account where there's no cap. There is a cap with the Roth. I think now it may be $7,500 if you're under 55 and or under 50, and $8,500 if you're over 50, something like that. But it is a cap on the Roth. But with a traditional brokerage account, there is absolutely no cap. So if you want to put $3,000 today, $3,000 tomorrow, $1 million by the end of the year, you can do it. There's no cap at all. And once again, with these accounts, you can buy fractional shares. And I say that, and I kind of pound on that so much because, for example, you have a stock like Chipotle whose stock is like $2,000-$3,000 as of today, and you may want to own Chipotle, but you feel like, oh, I don't have $2,000 to give to own this stock. Well, once again, you can buy a fractional share, so you don't have to spend all of the $2,000 to own a portion of Chipotle. Okay, so let's kind of go back a little bit and start from the top. So step number one, we assess our goals and our budget. And step number two is we have to find a brokerage. All right, so step number three, and it's probably the most important step. It is the most important step in my opinion. Step number three is market research. So if you know nothing about the stock market, I'm gonna say maybe you should kind of go lean towards index funds. And what index funds are is it's an index that tracks indices, whether it be like the S&P 500, the Dow, the NASDAQ, or even like the total stock market. And so what the index fund carries is a basket of stocks, and it's weighted differently. So for example, like if you are invested in Fidelity's total market index fund, which is the FSKX, I believe, if you go on there, and that's the ticker symbol. So get familiar with the word ticker symbol. And the ticker symbol is just like the abbreviation for the stock, where you can go onto a platform and you can search for it. So back to FSKAX. FSKAX stands for the total stock market fund that Fidelity has, and it's weighted differently. So like I think Apple and maybe Amazon it carries the most weight. Your higher mega cap companies are going to be carry the most weight in these funds, but it's the total stock market. So something would really have to go wrong for your stock to go to zero. I'm not going to say it's not going to go down. You may lose percentage points here and there, but you can't time the stock market. And like I said, if it goes to zero, something major is wrong, and you probably don't even need to own stocks, or you probably don't even have a need to own stocks, because the world is just going down. But if you do want to invest into individual stock or bonds, but we're going to talk about stocks. So with an individual stock, you can go into any company's investor relation page, which is usually located at the bottom, or it's in the menu somewhere, but just look for investor relations and you will find the company, everything about the company that you want to know. So the overview of the company, what they do, are they profitable, how much revenue are they bringing in, how much cash on hand. It's going to break everything down, and you're going to see year over year, quarter over quarter, which are like your 10Ks and your 10Qs. And I know this may sound like a foreign language, but just kind of go with me. This is an intro video, but I'm just kind of giving you the basics and how you can go find out about a stock. And so you can go onto the company's website, or you could go to places like Yahoo Finance, CNBC, MSN Money. All of these platforms, if you type in the ticker symbol, remember I told you the ticker symbol is the abbreviation. So like, for example, if you are trying to search Apple and you want to own Apple, you can go to Apple's actual website, so apple.com, and go to investor relations. and you can find out everything that you want to know about the company. Or you could go to Yahoo Finance or CNBC or MSN Money and type in the ticker symbol. And usually you have like a financials page, you have an analysis page, you have a summary, and you could go in and really see, are these companies profitable? Are they losing money? Because if you don't do the necessary research ahead of time and you just go ahead and buy a stock because somebody told you it was a good investment and you lose your money, you want to stand by what you own, okay? So you need to at least understand what you own. Don't just go buy a stock because I'm telling you to, because your friend Tom is telling you to, your mom tells you. Actually do your own research, okay? So yeah, so number 3, market research, so important. Step number one, let's go back, assess your goals and your budget. Step number 2 is you want to find a brokerage. And then step number 3, which so far in my opinion is the most important step, is market research. All right, step number 4, and this is just what I did, and I'm not saying, of course, this is not financial advice anyway, this is just education, but this is what I did, and this is what really helped me kind of get the ball rolling in building wealth. So when I was a travel nurse, when COVID happened back in 2020, as you guys know, travel nurses were getting paid, okay? And really the money that we were getting for me was more. I had more than enough to, pay my bills, and I always had money left over. So thank God, that's when I really started investing in the stock market when COVID happened. So all of that extra money I was using to do something called dollar cost averaging, and which is step number 4 for me. So what dollar cost averaging is once you find a stock that you feel like is, undervalued because you did your market research and you feel like they have so much potential to grow. I bought the company at different prices. So like, just say for example, if it was Amazon and Amazon's price is currently at $100, and I think Amazon should be trading at $200 a share, but they're trading at $100. But I think that they should be trading at a higher price because I did my market research. So what I did back then when I was traveling and making extra money was I was buying Amazon like every week, and not for say I was buying Amazon, and don't go buy Amazon because I said to do it. But every week I was buying a stock at $100, $110, $120, $95, wherever it was. I wasn't trying to time the stock market because honestly, guys, I don't care what anybody says, you're never going to time the stock market correctly. You don't know where the market is going. So dollar cost averaging is basically you just getting a piece of the pie at different levels. Once you've done your market research and you've decided it's a good company, not trying to time it and just buying shares on a schedule, whether it be weekly, monthly, annually, quarterly, however you want to set your schedule. But it is, in my opinion, very important to go ahead and set a schedule so you don't get off track and you're continuing to build the wealth that you need. So on step number 1, we're assessing our goals and our budget. Step number 2 is we're selecting a brokerage to keep our stocks on. I'm sorry, I'm going over and over this, but I feel like you guys really need to get this, and repetition is so important. So step number 3 is market research. Step number 4 is dollar cost averaging, and let's head on to step number 5. All right, so step number 5, patience. And I know that seems simple, but today we as human beings lack patience. We have no patience. And when I first got started investing, I read a book, and I can't remember exactly what book it was, but I heard or read somebody say, when you are investing in the stock market and trading, you have to completely change your mindset on how you think about the world. Things aren't gonna go, and when I say things, stocks aren't gonna go straight up or straight down. You have to invest dollar cost average. Don't look at the stock market every day if you think you're gonna get scared and pull your money out. You absolutely have to have patience. Now, I will say, I do know a quote that Warren Buffett says. He says that the stock market is a tool to take money from the impatient and reward it to the patient. And I promise you it's so true, okay? If you invest, especially in something like an index fund, and you let it sit there for 10 years and you dollar cost average every week, every quarter, every year, however you want to do it, I can 90%, I'm not 100% on everything, but I'm a 99% sure say that in 10 years, you will be up on your money. Now, how much? I don't know. You know, the market does what it does, but you will see a return on your money, okay? You just got to be patient. So let's run it back again. Step number 1 is assessing your goals and your budget. Number 2, find a brokerage. Number 3 is market research, the most important. Step number 4 for me, dollar cost averaging. And step number 5 is patience. And yeah, that's really it. That's how I got started. That's how you guys can get started and be on your way to financial freedom. That's what we're talking about. And that's what I'm trying to instill in the people around me, because God did not mean for us to just go to work and pay bills. We want you to be financially free, okay? So if you like this video and you are maybe wanting to see more content like this, once again, hit the like button, subscribe button. I will be posting more videos very similar to this and trading, whether it be trading equities and options. Those are the only 2 that, you know, I deal with. I don't trade any crypto, but yeah, so go ahead and do that and stay tuned for the next video.